Hi, welcome to C.O.R.E. My name is Kat Thomas, and today we're going to be discussing one of the most important muscles for our stability, for our core, and for walking, standing up straight, bending over. And so as I was saying, okay, my delivery is not so great with those kind of things, but our psoas muscle. So almost 2 years ago, not even yet, I had my right hip replaced, complete replacement, and my psoas muscle was in extreme stress, extreme pain, and I'm still learning ways to strengthen that so I can rebuild and refresh and recharge my core. But why is that something that we want to talk about today? In a lot of our yoga and our strength training moves, we tend to forget just how important the psoas is. So let's start with, what is the psoas muscle? Psoas muscle is the deepest muscle that we have in our bodies. So it takes a lot to actually not only physically get there, but mentally try and figure out how to get to it. But it wraps around our lumbar spine, so the lowest part of our spine, and it wraps all the way around here, and it actually connects with our femur bone. So yeah, that's pretty important. And to be able to get that deep, and you can kind of feel, and we'll go into a few exercises that'll help you actually feel that connection on the closest part to the surface. But we want to strengthen that because then we can stand up tall, have a nice strong curvature of the spine, and not be hunched over. When your psoas is stressed or not strong and supported, that's when you tend to start curving down, and we want to stand nice and strong and tall. So here are some ways to strengthen and to see just how strong your psoas truly is. And the other interesting thing is our psoas muscle kind of wraps around as if we were clasping our hands together with our diaphragmatic muscles. So while we're in a savasana pose, we'll kind of look at how that feeling of connection truly is. So everybody at home right now, or if you're out, find something that's similar to a bed that you can actually sit down on. You're going to bring yourself out. You don't want the insides of the knees actually touching the edge. You want them out a little bit. And we're just going to gently roll back. So if you have issues with your back, just kind of make sure you're coming back nice and slow, supporting yourself. Connect one vertebrae at a time. And let's bring our knees up here. You want to drop the head, drop the shoulders. So let's start. I'm going to start with my right leg because that's the one that is the tightest all the time. My psoas, they actually had to make a cut in that. So I need to really focus on that myself. I'm just going to bring my right knee in towards my chest, my heart center. I'm going to point those beautiful toes. Again, I'm going to make sure my shoulders are back. My gaze is up towards the beautiful sky or ceiling. Okay, we're going to draw the navel in. So you want to kind of pretend that you're trying to bring that belly button to the lower spine. And as you exhale, you're just going to extend that left leg out, point the toe. So from here, this is where you'll start to feel. Now, I can already feel a little bit of strain and pinching here. That means my psoas muscle is very tight. So what the Thomas, and this is called the Thomas method of stretching, not named after any Thomases in my family, but it's kind of cool that it is. You're going to try and drop that leg down as you bring that right knee in. Again, not lifting. You don't want to protract through the shoulders. You want to keep them retracted into the bed and just let that leg fall. Now, you may have a very challenging time getting it past here or the straightened leg. That is okay. It is okay because this is just seeing how far and how tight your psoas is. A lot of times also, you'll notice that leg might try and turn out and rotate that hip internally. You want to keep it nice and straight and level. So I would just say breathe through here, keep the navel engaged. Take about 10 breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to inhale, bring that left knee to meet the right. Draw both knees in, give yourself a nice big squeeze, smooth out the spine through a breath, And then we're gonna exhale, drawing that left knee in and extending that right leg out. Again, shoulders are flush with the surface. You're pointing the toes. Draw that navel in, and then see how far down you can go without rotating either externally or internally with the hips. Keep them nice and straight. And you're gonna take those 10 breaths. When you're ready, exhale, draw both knees back in and give yourself a nice big hug. If you do wanna use bands or you have a nice stretchy towel or an old t-shirt, you can definitely do the same and just keep that left knee in and just extend out. I would suggest waiting to do this when you get a little more strength, but this is a great way to strengthen and increase that psoas muscle's ability to support. So we're gonna jump up and we're gonna go over to your mat or your flat surface. Gently come off whatever material you are on. I always like to stretch, inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Take a nice deep breath before moving to the next round. Okay, so now if you have a yoga mat, that's wonderful. If you have a nice supportive flat surface, that's great as well. You can always put a towel or a pillow underneath your head for this next little adventure. So we're gonna come down. Some people suggest that this is called Supta Tadasana, which is a mountain pose on a back, or Savasana, corpse pose. And the reason that Supta Tadasana would make more of the sense is you are really creating a straight, fixated line with your feet, meaning the spacing is at shoulders distance apart, as opposed to Savasana where you're just kind of like, and letting it all flow and hang out. So if you were in Tadasana or that mountain pose, pretend that you are rolling back. Come down onto your mat. Make sure your feet are at that shoulders distance apart, so 3 little fists across. And we're just gonna point those toes. Now, if you have trouble and your back tends to arch or curl up, there's a few things. You can put a little bolster behind, a nice little pillow or such that's soft, or just really try and ground that back into the mat, okay? So from here, we're gonna talk about the breath and finding our psoas. So as we said before, our psoas muscle travels, wraps around, and comes across where the hip and the femur then are trying to stay connected so you can walk, fold forward, and do a lot of different things like function in life, okay? So from here, let's just take your hands and gently place them on your hip bones. So we're on our hip bones and we're just gonna slide them towards the pelvic bone. And you can feel that little muscle. You can kind of move around and feel. Take a deep breath in and exhale, release. And as you exhale, you mostly can feel your rib cage and your belly just kind of contract. Now I want you to draw the navel in, place the hands there on your psoas muscle, keep the shoulders engaged, the lower back engaged, feet are pointed. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Use that Ujjayi breath. And you can feel, it's almost like this little warmth of tension right here. That's your psoas. So from here, let's really feel that engagement. Again, make sure everything's connected, lower back engaged. And we're just gonna gently lift that right foot off the floor, about 3 to 4 inches off the mat. Now, don't let your hips roll. Stay even with them. Keep the hands here. Feel that engagement. Now, really try and draw the navel in. Feel that tightening up. That's a nice, strong psoas there. Let's exhale, release that right foot. And inhale, lift that left foot. Again, just about 3 to 4 inches off the mat. Feel that connection. Keep that navel drawn in. And exhale, release. So you can do those little exercises, just lifting the feet up and bringing them back down. I would say hold here for your 10 breaths if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Work yourself up to it. You can lift and release, but I would do it on the same leg. Go for your 10 breaths that way. Just making sure that hips are even, back is into the mat. All right, so we're gonna roll up, come up onto your mat. We're gonna stand up. Again, I always like to take a nice deep breath. And we're gonna use our blocks, or if you don't have blocks, go ahead and grab a book. Something that's gonna give you about 4 to 5 or 6 inches of height. That way you can just step up on it and your other leg will be able to swing back and forth. And I'll give you a moment to do that. We'll be right back. Okay, so now that you have your prop, if you don't love your balance and you feel a little unsteady, maybe somebody is there with you, you can ask them to just kind of watch over you, or you can always stand next to a wall and hold onto the wall. Just make sure you have enough room to swing that beautiful limb there. So we're gonna start with our right foot. We're gonna place the whole foot on your prop. You're gonna step up. So make sure your hips are aligned. You're facing forward with shoulders and hips. If you want, you can draw the shoulders back down the spine and draw that pelvic floor up. So what does that mean? You're gonna rotate your hips inward, and it's like you're zipping your pants up. Nice, strong core. And you're just stepping up, and you're just gonna swing that left leg back and forth. Keep the navel engaged, and just swing back and forth. You can make it nice and wide or just little swings here. You want to make sure that you're not dipping side to side again. You've got even balance and you're engaging your navel while you continue breathing. And I would suggest using the Ujjayi breath, which really engages your diaphragm throughout each of these psoas muscle strengthening. And then you're going to come off. Feel the difference. Does it at all feel like this left leg has been elongated slightly? Maybe it's just because this limb here is feeling a lot of nice strength and tension. So then we just go to the other side, ground that left foot in, connect the foot with your prop, roll the shoulders up and back down the spine. Unless you are holding on to a wall or a chair, just make sure you have that space to start swinging. Again, keep those hips even. If you're swinging high and you notice that you're sliding back and forth, just bring that swing here. And come off. And I would, again, suggest doing that. I would go a minute on each side. Now, that sounds like not too long, but for some of us, just those little movements can be very intense. I do know because I'm still trying to build up my psoas. So as it is, this is Kat Thomas with C.O.R.E. Thank you if you've already subscribed to GoddessLV on YouTube. And please, please check out my partner in C.O.R.E, JWaugh. She's got a lot of strength training and high impact, high interval training on her own channel at JWaugh Fitness. Thank you. Enjoy your day.